All right, let's go over how to add some sort of a pattern or background. And this is specifically for the Fun Fonts poster. The requirement is that you have some sort of subtle background, image, or pattern. So in order to add a pattern, I would first suggest that you think about what color scheme you're going after. So what color background do you want? So let's say that I know I want to use kind of a dark green. So first off, fill your background layer with some sort of dark green. You're going to use your paint bucket tool, which may be hidden under your gradient tool. It's in the same place in Photopea. And then up at the top, be sure it's set to foreground. Then down here for your top color box, go ahead and choose whatever color that you like. So let's say I like this green. I'm going to hit OK and then click one time to fill in that background layer. This works exactly the same in the other program as well. Now, above this layer, we're going to add either the image that you want to blend in there. Remember, we want it to be subtle, so we're not actually putting a photo as the background, or a pattern. I'll do the image first. So place your image. Let's say that I have this image of a baseball field, a baseball diamond. Okay, and again, this is just going to be a subtle background image, so I can go ahead and make it really big because I do want it to fill the whole, area here. Something like this, let's say. But I don't want it to look like that because that would be very distracting. It's a text project, a typography project. We're not really supposed to have images other than just to complement things. So once you put that on there, then you could mess with your blending mode and try different blending modes to see how they look. So like here's, this overlay mode is kind of a simple mode. You could use your darken modes, which is going to make it darker. Any of those in the darken section. Probably not, you don't want it to be creepy looking. But anyway, so pick whatever one you think works and then modify the opacity of that layer if needed so that your background green starts coming through. So we just kind of pull that back so that it's sort of just in the background. We don't want it to be super noticeable, but we can see it. Okay, it should not detract from your text. All right, so that's one way of doing this. I'm going to delete that layer. The other way is to add a pattern as your background. Again, same thing, start with a color, and then go and let's add a pattern adjustment layer, so a pattern fill layer. So we're going to click here on our button for the adjustment layers and go to pattern. Same concept, but I will show it to you in the other program. Then you're going to choose your down arrow, and Photoshop has a lot of patterns built in categories. So like for instance, there's rock patterns. I'm going to hit OK. Well, let's say I choose this rock pattern. This rock pattern is a bit harsh. You can change the scale to make the rocks bigger or smaller. Okay. And then I can hit OK. And then same thing. Mess with the blending mode so that that green starts to come through. Whatever your background color is will start to come through. And then pull the opacity back so that your pattern is not super there. Okay, so that's just very subtle. Okay, so that's that. Let me show it in Photopea here real quick. Same thing. So background layer, we're going to come over under our gradient tool, grab our paint bucket, fill with the background color that you want by just clicking one time over here, and then add your pattern layer. So click your adjustment layer button, go to pattern fill. There's not as many patterns to choose from in Photopea, but you can load PAT files, and I do have a folder of PAT files available to you. You just hit this down arrow and load those PAT files, and you can use any of those other patterns. So there will be some in here that you can scroll through, but not a ton. And then it also has the scale button, so you can scale it. And then once you get that, you're going to mess with that blending mode again. So if I do screen, multiply, overlay, you got all your different ones, and then pull that opacity back. So that again, your pattern is just subtle and in the background and not distracting to the text. And that's pretty much it.